Hi you guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Patience. To my existing subscribers, welcome back. If this is your first time here, be sure to click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can continue to indulge in the Hot Bella experience. In today's video, you guys, I'm going to be doing quite a bit. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is I am going to be showing you guys the Makiage concealer. Yes, the Makiage concealer. Instagram made me buy this product and I was curious about it. So, I went online, I took the actual quiz where it asked you all the different questions about your complexion. And, they say that once you do that they would be able to match your complexion perfectly. And I thought it was interesting how they went about doing that, because they not only asked you the questions in the form of a written question, they also showed you images of ladies of different complexions and had you choose which one closely describes what your complexion is. So I think completing that survey, and for the survey to have those types of options, really does help to get the right shade match for whatever the product is, be it the concealer or the foundation, because Makiage does offer foundation as well. I decided to go with the concealer because I have so many foundations already that I'm trying to work my way through. I just don't want to add another one to the list. So I thought concealer would be the best way for me to go. So this is what this concealer looks like. I am in the shade 10. This concealer is called, I'm going to call it the FIF concealer because it's called blank I'm flawless. I don't want to say the word, but if you guys are on Instagram, you've heard about this concealer, you know the name of it. But yeah, this is what it looks like. And at first glance, I was like, I don't know about this because it looked really peachy. This is what it looks like swatched on my hand. I was like, okay, I'm not sure. But as you guys can see, this concealer matches my skin tone perfectly. It gave me a gorgeous highlight, not too overdone, not too bright, really pretty. I like this concealer and I'm so glad that I have it. Also with the Makiage concealer, with my order, they also sent me an eyeliner. So I'll be trying this sometime in the near future, and I'll be sure to keep you guys informed on what my thoughts are about this eyeliner as well. I am also revisiting the Melt Impulsive palette in this video. This palette came out quite some time ago and it was quite a unique palette from Melt because it gave you that stair-step type of block in here, if you will. Very different type of packaging from Melt, but the eyeshadows in this palette are gorgeous. I like the Melt Cosmetics eyeshadows because you can use any of their shadows as a transition shade or as your primary color on your lid. It just depends on how intensely you build up that color. And I like that. I like having options. But yeah, I used this palette today to create this gorgeous eye look. So I thought I would revisit this palette again because it is definitely revisit worthy. And I am airbrushing my complexion today. I'm not going into a lot of detail in this video about how I am utilizing my airbrush machine and the airbrush products, but I'm going to come back later on with a video that's going to go into detail on how to use your airbrush gun. It doesn't have to be this particular airbrush gun. It could be any airbrush gun. And you can find airbrush kits online where they're offering you the airbrush gun itself as well as some complexion products. You guys know that I swear by an airbrush gun. I love my traditional foundations, but I still think that an airbrush gun is still a tool that everyone should have when it comes to applying their makeup. But yeah, I did airbrush my complexion today. I think it turned out flawless as usual when I used the airbrush gun. So as I said, we are doing a lot in this video. So if you guys want to see how I created this gorgeous look in detail, then keep watching. My face has been cleansed and I used my Elemis Ginseng Toner to tone my face. I then used my fresh black tea kombucha facial essence and I followed up with my Tatcha Water Cream Moisturizer. I used the Becca Velvet Blurring Primer. So yeah, face is all prepped and ready to go. I am going to use this product from MAC. This is called Beaming and this is labeled as a blush. It is from their Extra Dimension Skin Finish line, but I'm going to use this as my brow bone highlight for today. I am now going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Dream Big, and I'm going to use this as my transition shade. I am going to build this up to my desired level of intensity. And with all the Melt eyeshadows, they are full of pigmentation, so I want to take my time with this. I don't want it to be too intense. I don't want it to be too washed out. So I'm just going to take my time and build it up to where I want it to be. Yeah, the colors in this Impulsive palette are very strong colors. So they can be used as transition colors if you lighten them up or wash them out, or they can be used as your primary eye color in the look, depending on your desired level of intensity. So yeah, I like Milk for that reason. I am now going to use this shade. This shade is called Boss Lady, and I'm going to apply this to the outer V and sweep it into the crease. Again, I am building this up so that I can get the level of intensity that I want. So I'm just starting off slowly, and it's getting deeper as I go. I'm going to use the same brush that I used to apply my transition shade. That transition shade is called Dream Big, and I'm just going to soften up the edges just a little bit. I don't want the edges to be too harsh. I'm now going to use this shade. This shade is called Tipsy, and I'm going to place this on my outer V, and I'm also going to sweep it into the crease just to marry the deeper crease color that I already have laid down. I want to put this blue on top of it. So yeah, I'm just going to add this in, and we'll build up a little bit more depth, plus give us this beautiful, beautiful blue hue, which is so, so gorgeous. It does not take much of this shade at all. I have tapped into the pan one time, and I've been able to work with just that one tap to get the color payoff that I want. I've carved out my lid in this little half cut crease type of fashion as I normally do. And I'm going to go back into this shade right here. This shade is called Tipsy. It's the blue shade that I already have down on my lid. And I'm just going to soften up the areas of where I have carved out my lid. I'm now going to use this shade, and this shade is called No Regrets. I'm going to start on the inner corner of my eye and work my way out. I am now going to use this shade, and this shade is called Warehouse Party, and I'm going to use this shade to marry the Tipsy and the No Regrets shades that I already have on my lid, just to marry those two together. I'm now going to go back into this shade right here. This shade is called Dream Big. This is my transition shade. I'm going to use my Sigma E36 brush, and I'm going to add a little bit more of the Dream Big shade into the areas where I've had to manipulate my natural crease line. I'm going to add my liner and my lashes, and I'll be right back. My liner and my lashes are done, and it's time for concealer, and I am going to use my Makiage concealer. This is in the shade 10, so I'm hoping that this is going to be the right shade for me. So they say that once you take the quiz that they send you the perfect shade match, so we're going to see. So this applicator is a typical flat doe foot type of applicator. I also forgot to mention that I did do some color correcting underneath my eye with my Touch of Pearl and Candlelight, and around my mouth area with my Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer in the shade SX14. Those are my staple color correcting products. You guys know how I do that. So I'm just going to use this as I normally would with any of my other concealers. So far, I can say that to me, it looks a little peachy or pinky kind of. Oh, I just messed up. It looks a little peachy or pinky on me, but we'll see. I made a little boo-boo right there on my nose, but we'll fix that. I won't worry about that right now. I hope this doesn't dry down too quickly, but we will see. This is my first time using this product. This is supposed to be full coverage. Alright, I will say, much to my surprise, this shade match is not bad, you guys. This is not looking too bad on my skin. Let me add a little bit more right in here. And I think I want to add a little bit more in my problem area, which is right in here. Not bad at all. So this surprises me just a little bit because I normally use a concealer that has a little bit more of a golden type undertone, but this is looking a little bit more peachy. I hope you guys can see that. That's interesting, but then at the same time I understand it a little bit because one of my all-time favorite setting powders that I used, and I just stopped using because I had so many other choices or so many other options and wanted to use some of my other products, was a product from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Anastasia Contour Powder Kit. This is in medium tan. You guys remember this? I love this still. And there's a shade in here which is called Peaches and Cream. And it is this shade right here. You see, I have used this quite a bit. And I would use this to set my under eye area, and I loved how it looked. So yeah, this concealer kind of reminds me of this. I think I'm going to use this to set this concealer. But overall, not too bad. I think the coverage is good. The coverage is buildable. Quite pretty. What do you guys think? I'm going to finish off my complexion. I am going to airbrush my complexion today, and I'll be right back. I like how this is looking. Now that I've got all of my cream and my liquid products on my face, that includes my foundation, I am going to do some setting. So as I mentioned before, I am going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Powder Kit. This is in medium tan, and I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Peaches and Cream, and I'm going to use this to set my under eye area. I think today I am going to stick with my RCMA No Color Powder to set my entire face. This is such a pretty under eye setting powder. Look at that. It's not too bright, not too yellow. It's just right. And you guys have heard me talk about this RCMA No Color Powder. I love it because it does not add any color to your complexion products that you already have on your face. And you guys have heard me talk about how I love airbrushing my complexion. We're really close to spring and summer, so yeah, you guys are going to see a lot more of airbrush complexion here on the channel. I'm going to create a video also where I go into a little bit more detail about how to use an airbrush. You know, there's something to be said about airbrush because most of your complexion products, that's one of the claims, is that it looks airbrushed or is airbrush-like. I totally understand why brands are wanting their complexion products to look airbrushed because there is nothing like it. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. But if you have your own airbrush gun, you can get that look every time. You can determine how full coverage or how light of a coverage you want. And that is a beautiful thing. So eyes and face are set. And normally when I'm airbrushing my complexion, I go ahead and I add in airbrushed bronzer, blush, and highlight. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to stick with the traditional powder type of products for that. So before I move forward, I'm going to use a little bit more of my MAC Fix Plus just to cut down or to take down a little bit of the powderiness that I have right now. I don't have a lot going on anyway, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add in a little Fix Plus before I move forward. I'm going to go ahead and add a little blush, and I am going to use this Almost Gone Already Hit Pan blush from MAC. This is in the shade Sweetest Cocoa. You guys know this is an all-time favorite. I'm determined I'm going to get all of this out of this container. So I'm going to swirl that around, and I am going to use this as my blush today. Very nice and subtle. I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. This is in the shade Tan 3, and I'm going to use this to bronze up my face just a little bit. It is now time to smoke out my waterline, and I'm going to use Tipsy. That's the blue shade. I'm going to go ahead and bring that down along the waterline. And I'm also going to use No Regrets. That's the lighter shade or the shimmer shade that I have here. I'm going to wrap this around into my inner corner, and then I'm going to gently sweep this down under the waterline as well. I'm going to use one of the lip pencils from Mented Cosmetics. This is in the shade Bear. And I'm also going to use a lip gloss from MAC. This is in the shade Oyster. And this look is done. I have to admit, the Makiage concealer is a perfect match for my skin tone. I am so excited about this concealer, and I am definitely going to add it into my everyday makeup stash. And this eye look from the Impulsive palette from Melt is gorgeous. I loved the Impulsive palette when it first was released a little while ago, and I am still loving it today. And my airbrush complexion, in my opinion, is to perfection. I love a good airbrush look. I think that it is something that every mature makeup enthusiast should have in their makeup tool belt. An airbrush is a way to get your desired coverage, be that full coverage or light. It does not matter. It allows you to apply your foundation easily, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous look. I love how this look turned out. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.